Almost there. Catherine, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so as a freshman in high school, I was not very excited, much like everyone else. I was trying to get used to a new, bigger school with lots of people that I didn't know, lots of new teachers and harder classes. But I also was not very excited having to get up an hour earlier. But I was looking forward to trying out for softball in the spring. And one thing that I was not ready for was having to go through the long and tough process of getting diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that would change my life and my relationship with food as I would know it. It all started when I was getting migraines, like 3 to 4 migraines a week, which became debilitating. And I was missing so much school that I ended up getting a letter from the school saying that if I missed X amount more days, I would have to appear in front of a judge and explain why I was missing so much school. So I ended up getting sent to a neurologist from my doctor who prescribed me rescue meds, which I would take if I felt a migraine coming on, and anti-seizure meds, which would help prevent migraines, which didn't do much. Coincidentally, at a routine dentist appointment, the dentist went behind my back to my mom and told her that he thought I had bulimia because the state of my teeth was so bad that my enamel was so worn down. And I went to my mom and I was like, no, I don't have bulimia, but I perfectly described acid reflux. This got me sent to my least favorite doctor, my gastroenterologist, who basically tortured me for a little under a year by having me do the elimination diet. This basically eliminated dairy, eggs, gluten, fish, and soy. He did one at a time for just under 2 months, after which we would do an endoscopy, which is a surgical procedure for which he would put me to sleep, and then he would take a long cord with a camera and then insert it to my throat. And then he would basically look around into my small intestine and he would try to see if anything was different, if anything was better. And we'd basically do that for a little under a year. And after each endoscopy, I woke up with less hope. And because each time he'd say, nothing has changed, we just have to keep going, keep pushing, and hope that things get better. Until finally, after we did gluten, which is like wheat, bread products, I woke up to my mom crying, talking to my doctor on the other side of the room. And I thought, why is my mom crying? But then again, my mom's just like a pretty emotional person. And I asked her, why are you crying? And she said, your wedding cake is going to have to be gluten-free. And I'm like, okay. And so I wait for them to finish talking, and my doctor comes over to me and he says, we're going to have to do more blood tests to confirm it, but I'm pretty sure you have celiac disease. And whenever he comes back to talk to me, I ask him, what the heck is that? So he basically explains to me that it's an autoimmune disorder in which every time you eat gluten, that basically your immune system attacks your small intestine, which can lead to medical complications, for which sadly there is no cure or treatment other than avoiding gluten like the plague. And that most people can actually carry the genetic marker for celiac disease, and they can go most of or even their whole lives without it being triggered or flipped on like a switch. And this is different than gluten intolerance, which is more like a sensitivity, for which they can ingest gluten but still feel those symptoms without actually damaging their intestines. After this, I was sent to a nutritionist who basically told me everything I could not eat ever again. So no more Dunkin' Donuts, no more chicken nuggets, no more half the things I was used to eating my entire life. Now this sounds terrible from the outside looking in, But getting diagnosed with celiac disease is actually a blessing in disguise. It's actually made me more resilient. It has taught me to stand up for myself in situations where I had to, and has made me healthier overall. And if I could go back and unflip that switch that my doctor said triggered the celiac disease, I wouldn't, as it has taught me many things, and I'm actually grateful for it. Thank you.
Oh. Oh, it's good discussions. And then it's a day four. Well, I remember that when I had a doctor in the same deal with the nutrition diet. They were like, you're probably lactose now. And one day she'll have that side of each day. Wow, that's your everything. Yeah, just it requires.
Give me like 10 seconds. A number of people are either optimistic or pessimistic in a sense. It's like, I guess, not really many people can be optimistic in a way in which they're like, oh my gosh, I can do anything. I can do whatever I want. Mainly, I guess the popularity of people could be either pessimistic, like, oh, I hate this. I don't want to be here anymore. So, so if I were to say something about myself, I think if like to visualize it in a sense, it would be more or less an odd data chart in which there's highs and lows where I would either feel very depressive in a sense, like I don't want to get off from my bed or not, or if I'm just like, okay, I'm up and ready to go, I can do this, I can, do the work I have to do. So I guess I can say it's kind of bad because, well, being optimistic is not really that good when it comes to living in a household where there's lots of conflict and it feels like a war going on between my siblings, my parents, cousins, etc. And it's just like, God, why are you guys like this, man? I don't like you guys. But I'm just joking. So wait, no. Okay. And it's like, I guess going to school as well, it's living in like that type of bad neighborhood and it's like poor school. I would say it's not really beneficial to continue to keep going despite good teachers who will be like, okay, you can get through these challenges and issues despite whatever people do to bring you down or something. And like, just get through anything. And I guess I can add on to how at early age I was given like an iPad, just to be entertained in some way. And it's not really that great to give a child technology in a young age without any like restrictions or whatever, because my parents did give me no restrictions. And that's how I ended up with what, being in the dark web, or, you know, like in the deep, I don't know how to explain it, but despite that, I just like, I guess, really went down into that path, and I've like seen some topics about global warming, suicides, mass shootings, murders, etc. I could go on and forth, but you know. So just knowing that, living in a bad neighborhood, the household is not great, relatives are, you know, going through issues. It's very draining, and I like found myself being inside most of my months, years, I don't know how long, but it's like, you know, it's not you know, usually just you know, stuck, and you have no one to motivate you. You have no one to really go on with. You don't really have a purpose. Well, coming to think in a mindset, you know. So I thought everything was, you know, hopeless. I didn't really have any hope to continue forth. And, you know, I just thought maybe, hey, that's end of it, you know. So I wasn't so sure what to do, but luckily enough, I'm still here. I got sparks in my life so then I could continue within life. I would say one will be just to, you know, the hope for the future, whatever I can do to continue with my passions and whatnot. And my friend, AJ, who had inspired me, helped my passions to continue forth and never give up on anything, and try not to, you know, go down the bad life, or not bad life, but just not really, how would I say this, you know, great. Otherwise, despite me having someone to actually continue forth and be motivated with, that doesn't mean there's not other ways that you could continue to grow and do what you want to do, and, you know, like be motivated. So just never give up. Just, you know, however you could be motivated, just stay true to yourself and positive. Thank you.
Somebody open the door, driver's outside. Can you? No.